Yo, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television show in the history of the universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown. All three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Slow Horses by Mick Herron. This is book #1 in his Slough House series. Now, the Slough House is actually spelled Slough, Slough House, based off of a neighborhood in London. And the people who work at Slough House are called Slow Horses. But we'll get into that in a second. This book came out in 2010. Let's review the cover first, because you know I love book cover design, graphic design, book cover illustration, all that. So let's talk about this. This is published by Soho Press. Now, so far, Soho Press has always done magnificent book covers. Again, this is just kind of a cool, colorful picture of a London street scene, tipped at an angle. Colors pop out. The nice font for this, and it's got a little thing here. And then the thing that I don't now, the thing that I also mention about Soho Press is the spines of their novels are often just bizarro as all get out. And I've went over some videos with that, but now here's the thing. At least so far, God, they might fuck it up in the future, but at least so far, the 8 books in the Slough House series all have covers that match, spines that match. I mean, it's just a big, bold, and colorful, but all together they look all right on the. It's a little much, just a little much. But anyway, that's all I got to say about the covers. Let's talk about. Okay, so many days, months, years ago, I saw a trailer on YouTube for the TV show that they made of this. It looks like it was Apple TV, streaming on Apple TV, Slow Horses. Maybe some of you have seen the television show. If you have, I have not, so drop a note letting me know if you think it's good or not. I could imagine must be pretty damn good, because I really like this novel. But that's that trailer was sort of what got me interested in this book a long time ago, and I finally got around to reading it. And I quite enjoyed it. There's a fantastic opening scene. This is an espionage thriller novel, sort of like, most espionage thriller novels. I would compare it. It's kind of a mix between the John le Carré type thriller and maybe a not really James Bond or Jack Reacher. I don't know who else to compare it to other than John le Carré, but just with a little more action and a little easier to read. But there's a fantastic opening scene, action-packed, where they're chasing some terrorists through the subway systems of London. Very explosive scene, intense scene. Things are going wrong all the time in the scene. And then the scene just abruptly ends. We don't really know. Well, we kind of get a hint of what happens. But anyway, then we jump to the Slough House. Now, the main character that's doing the chase through the subway is River. His name is River. He's sort of this young, blonde, new agent with M15 or MI5. I can't keep that straight in my mind. I don't know if it's M15, MI5, the British intelligence service, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. He's a new recruit with these guys, and he's the way that Mick Herron describes every character is so on point. I really love it when authors take the time to describe characters. I know there's some people hate when the characters are described too much. Some writers think it's foolish to describe characters. Some writers, like me, over-describe the characters. I really liked that in a thriller novel we got more of the over-description of characters. I actually really like that type of writing style. And Mick Herron does it just absolutely perfectly, so you know exactly who this person is physically as you're following him through the scenes. And he does that with every character, and it's dynamite. not just with physical attributes, but with their personality and all of that stuff. So we get to Slough House. So we jump from the prologue, chasing the terrorists through London subway, to the prologue. No, the prologue was, and then we get to the first chapter, where we are now in Slough House. So now, what is Slough House? Slough House, Slough house. It is a little sort of townhouse flat in London. You just get through. It's kind of squeezed between these other businesses, and it's just like this nondescript door. There's no storefront or anything. It's just a nondescript door. People enter and out of it, and so mostly they come through the back way anyway. But anyway, Slough House is a place where the slow horses work. Who are the slow horses? Well, they are all the fuck ups that couldn't quite make it in the British Secret Service for one reason or the other. They bungled a case. They screwed up royally. They're just dumb. Maybe someone else in the British Secret Service has a vendetta against them, and they sort of banish them to Slough House. It's kind of like in Game of Thrones when you get sent to the wall. It's just all the misfits and screw-ups in the British Secret Service. They have to go work at Slough House, and their leader is this guy named Jackson Lamb, and he's pretty he basically knows he's inheriting all the dumb asses. Now, what the thing is he also realizes he's inheriting some people that were actually pretty bright and intelligent, but just someone else at the M15 or M1 or MI5 decided that they would get office politics. And so anyway, I really enjoyed the way Slough House itself was described. Like I said, everything is described. I mean, Slough House is just, Mick Herron is juicy in his description of everything about Slough House, from the way it looks physically to the way that the characters feel when they're inside of it, the way that they feel as they're walking towards it. In fact, Mick Herron, there's a little introduction to the book where Mick Herron says he got the idea for this just by sitting at the same bus stop every day, looking across the street from the bus stop, and he would see this door, like all of these businesses lined up across the road, and they all had storefronts, but then there was just this one lone door. Just a door, like a nondescript door, the paint kind of flaked off of it, everything, and above that was, it looked like some sort of residence or building or maybe office space or something, and he's just like, he never ever saw anybody. In all the years he sat at that bus stop, he saw people enter into every other door on that street, but that one door he never saw anybody enter into. So he started to conjure up this story of what might be going on behind that door. Like, who is up in there? Who in those 3 or 4 stories above that door? What's going on? And he come up with the slow horses idea. The actual building is an actual character in the book, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, River, the dude that F's up the terrorist attack in the subway, is relegated to the slow horse group, where he's now sort of a disgraced British secret servant, and he Secret Service, and now he's got to join Jackson Lamb's crew of misfits, and every one of the misfits in the crew of misfits is given a delicately articulated backstory, and we just know everything that we need to know about them and what they look like, what personality, their anger issues, some of them are calm, some of them are high strung, some of them are sardonic and sarcastic. There's a very dry wit and humor to this story, which I wonder if that translates into the show at all, but it's absolutely the type of humor. Humor is hard. Authors that try humor in books often fail with me. It is a hard thing to do, but this was the type of humor that I liked. It wasn't over the top. It was more of an absurdist type of commentary on things. Really enjoyed it. The main plot, though, is the Slough House. All the misfits that work in the Slough House, they now have got to. There's someone has been kidnapped by terrorists, and the terrorists are planning to behead this person they've kidnapped live on television or on YouTube, or they're going to do it live. And so now they've got to stop this plot, and that's kind of where our slow horses people sort of all of them try to stop this. That's basically it. I was pleasantly surprised with how much I really liked this. I mean, it's got a very John le Carré-esque sort of writing style. Broken sentences. It reminded me, the actual writing style reminded me of like a Lee Child, like the Jack Reacher series, where it's like broken sentence, really choppy broken sentences, intermixed though with the eloquent John le Carré-esque prose. It was absolutely fantastic. I give this book a solid 9.5 out of 10, and I look forward to getting the other books and reading them for the channel.